What's good, guys? So in this video we are gonna take a look at a successful SaaS app that's already making money and growing in revenue every single month, and see how we can build the same app or a similar app using no-code tools. Now, I'm not gonna talk about a specific tool today. This video is gonna have instructions for you to go out and build this specific app using pretty much any no-code tool. So whether you like Bubble, or you like Appgyver, or you like Codeless, or any of the other platforms, you will be able to go out and build the same app with the information that I'm about to teach you. All right, so if we go to this article here, and it's basically a question here in Hacker News, which is a great website if you're interested in coding or technology or making money online with code. This is a great community. And they're basically saying, now this was 3 months ago, so it's fairly recent. And they're saying those making $500 a month on side projects in 2021. Now, that date, what you have to realize is that these projects are probably making more money. If they're already making that much money, a couple of months ago, they're probably making more money now. Because the thing with SaaS apps, if you have a successful app and it's making money and people are happy with it, it's probably going to be growing. There's a very, very good chance it's going to be growing. And so here we have kind of the first thread, the first response. This guy answered. He has two. He has an app for making video place cards that does about $1,000 a month, and he has a boilerplate for making SaaS apps with Python Django that does $5K a month. Highly variable. So what we're gonna do, and he has another app. He also says, I also have a third that does around $150 a month. It's an app that adds analytics to GroupMe, which is a WhatsApp alternative. All right, so he has a bunch of successful projects here, and this is not the only thread. If you scroll down, you're going to see a lot of other apps, a lot of other ideas that are already making money. But what we're going to do is we're going to pick one of these projects. We're going to open it up. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to figure out what it's doing, if it's a good business model, if it's if it has potentials to grow, how exactly he's making money, where's the business model, and things like that. And then we're going to go out and I'm going to show you how you can build the same app using any kind of no-code tool that you want. And so for this video, let's go and focus on this app for making wedding place cards that does about $1,000 a month. And the reason this app seems very, very enticing for me, and kind of this is an app I want to talk about, is because right away I realized this is a super niche app. And niche apps, they're not going to make millions and millions of dollars, but they can very, very easily make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. They can make very, very easily up to $5K a month. They can grow from that, to make more money. But it's fairly easy with these niche apps to have, a comfortable income, right? Like $1,000 a month is good money, $2K a month is good money, $3K a month is good money. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So now, before we jump into the project and I show you how it works, here's a really, really good interview with the founder that talks exactly how they build this app, the challenges they face, how much money they're making, stuff like that. So you can simply Google for this, running in production, and you can simply Google for this, and you can find this interview here, right? The interview is like 50 minutes long, almost 50 minutes long. And you can say, was making $2,000 a month, selling $8 templates, right? This guy was making, Corey. The MVP took about a week or two to make thanks to Django. In no-code, it's going to be like 1 day or 2 days. And then he basically talks about how he did it. Now, he's talking a lot of technical stuff there. You don't really need to worry about it simply because we're going to be using no-code tools. But still, this is very, very useful information. If you're interested in kind of learning more about the background of this project, who the person is, what kind of problems they were dealing with and stuff like that. And so I definitely recommend to all of you to read it. This is what you're going to be looking at. It says here, get your place cards in 5 minutes. Make your wedding stand out with our gorgeous place cards. You'll receive a PDF containing place cards ready for your printer. Now, at first, I had no idea what these place cards are all about. It took me a little bit of time to kind of figure out. And essentially what place cards are these little cards that you put on tables whenever you have like a big event, such as a wedding. So I don't know if you've ever been to a wedding. I have. And thinking back, I do remember that the wedding, the most recent wedding I was at, had these place cards, right? Because typically at a wedding, you have kind of a reception, and then you have typically, where people sit down, there's all these festivities going on, people eat food, stuff like that. Now, when people go to this area, this restaurant area after the reception or before the reception, depending on, typically it's after the reception, they may not know where to sit, and that is why when they're gonna be going to their tables, it's gonna have their name on it, and it's gonna say table 1, table 2. They're gonna have this arrangements of seats. You may be sitting with your other friends, or you may be sitting with relatives, or you may be sitting with your family, right? It all depends on how the whole wedding was arranged, and how the seating arrangement was configured. And so that's how place cards work. And I definitely found them very, very useful at a wedding I was at. And it's definitely adds that little touch to people, just seeing your name on them, seeing the table you're in, that little personalization. So even, if people don't do that, if people never thought about doing it at weddings, this is a great idea in my mind. This is kind of a super niche. This is what I call a super niche. It's not about, it's not an app that helps you, to meet other people. It's not a dating app. It's not, an app that, has workout programs about losing weight or gaining muscle or stuff like that. This is a super niche area. And it's really amazing because, I thought, it's hard to think of niches, but apparently, there's always these ideas, right? There's always these ideas that you can go out and you can print it. So the way this works is that you hit this button here, choose a place card, and there's a bunch of templates, right? So you can choose a template or upload your own. Okay, you'll be able to customize it later. So there's a bunch of designs here, and if I click upload my own, it's asking me, please upload a valid image, JPG, PNG, etc. So a good starting size is 1400 by 800. So they give you these specifications, how the card should look, right? And so you can upload your own, or you can pick from these designs. Now, the basic designs are free. Premium are $8, right? So there you see some of the kind of the business model, right? So if I choose, let's say, this basic, right? And so there's a lot of premium. There's maybe 2 basic ones, right? So I think I just saw, yeah. So if I go in here and I search for basic, I have 4 results. Actually, it's 2. Yeah, there are 3 basic ones and this word here. So there are 4 matches. If we exclude this one, you have 3 cards. And there's how many cards? A ton, right? I'm not going to count them all, but there's a lot of cards, right? So typically, if you want the basic, it's free. But if you want something cooler, like a cool design, maybe something like this, that's kind of cool. Or maybe something like this, colorful, all the colors stand out. It's going to cost you $8, okay? And that's how they make money. So let's pick a basic design here. Step 1, choose a template. So I picked this template. Step 2, enter your guests. Okay, so this is where we enter the guests in a list, with each guest being on a new line. So this is the name of the guest: Rachel Green, Ross Geller, Monica Geller, etc., and so on and so forth. And this is the table 1, right? The table they're at, right? Which is going to be placed on the table. And you can also upload an Excel file, right? It says upload the file formatted like that below. You can do text. So separate names and tables with commas, or just paste names if you don't have tables, right? So you can remove this, right? You can just have names. And I can say save guest list, and then we go to step 3. Check guest list. If the names and tables look right, you're good to go. Otherwise, try editing the file text above. So it parsed it, and it's confirming. Okay, did we parse it correctly? Do you want to make any changes? It's a good idea, right? Because you don't want to print these cards if we messed up. Either the app messed up or the user messed up. Mostly it's going to be the user messing up, because they tell you exactly what you got to do. And so it says preview your cards. We're going to do that. We have a font, so I like this font. Table font layout is foldable, flat, a bunch of other layouts. You have more options, special request. You have text resizing, cut lines. And so what you can do is you can download a PDF, you can enter your email, and it's going to send you a PDF, a printable PDF, right? So it's going to basically print it like that, and you essentially just cut it up and fold them, which is a great idea. It's a genius idea because you don't need to go out and, do it yourself or pay, a lot of money for like a third party, wedding planners or some wedding agency to do it for you. So this is an awesome idea. And so it looks like you were making place cards earlier. Yeah, we're just testing it. We can close that. It has guides. It has all these things, right? I don't know why you need guides, but yeah, it could be useful. For me, it's very, very self-explanatory. And so the first thing that we need to do is, well, there's a bunch of things we need to do. Number one is we need to think about the business model, how we're going to do it. Assuming we're just going to go with what they're doing, this problem is solved. We already got the business model, right? Have a couple of basic ones, but for something nicer, where you may hire a designer to kind of design it for you, or go out on Fiverr and hire somebody there to create these really cool ones, you're going to charge a little bit extra. It could be from $5 to $10, so like $8 in this case. And that's the first thing, figuring out the business model. The next thing is you want to decide which features you're going to launch in your MVP. Remember, we're launching an MVP. We're not launching, a full-blown, comprehensive app that does everything, and anything anybody may ever want in their lifetime. We're not doing that, right? We're simply launching an MVP. And what this means is that you're not going to have this design, you're going to have this, but you're not going to have all this like crazy stuff, crazy filters. The other thing you're not going to have, so let's say I pick this, you're not going to have this Excel file. You're going to have just text. This is going to come later, okay? You're going to do that. You might not even have a table, right? You might just have a name, right? You're definitely not going to have Excel file. That's going to come later. Or maybe this is going to be like a paid feature. It's going to be a paid feature to upload your own file. Otherwise, you can just paste it in here. We saved the guest list. Okay, yes. We showed them, this is important. Preview the cards. We're not going to have all these features. We're just going to use one font and one font. We're not going to let them customize in the first version. Super important, right? Because if you guys are going to include all the features here, it's going to take you a long time to do. It's going to take you longer than you think. Trust me on this one. It's going to take you longer than you think. You just want to remove all of this and remove more options and then just download PDF. So you're going to have a button here, download. You're just going to preview that. Later on, you can do fonts. And then when you download this PDF, yeah, you can do email or you can download them immediately. The benefit of having them enter an email is you save the email. So then you can send them later on some marketing information, or you can stay in touch with them. So there's a benefit. The disadvantage is it's gonna have users that are not serious not go forward with the download, which is good. Because we only want real users, right? Anybody can click download PDF. Not everybody is willing to give their email in order to actually get the PDF. So this is a good feature. I would just go with the email. And listen, if you are doing it for free, using that free template, and I think it's totally worth it. It totally warrants, you asking for an email and them giving you an email in return because they're already using the free plan. Right, so I think this is a really, really good flow. Now, the next thing you guys want to do is you want to see the flow, right? So it says choose your template. So let's go back, place card me, let's make place cards, right? It's asking for your template. And you want to start kind of figuring out the flow, right? So if I come in here and I say choose your design, and actually maybe for the first prototype, we're not going to have them choose design. We're just going to say, there's just one design, right? So if we go back here, we're going to skip this step. We're just going to do this design. Okay? Or you can have like a couple of designs. You don't need like a million designs. That's going to come later. So you can have one basic and maybe 5 premium for like 6 designs. right? Because the key here is not how many designs you give them. The key here is getting them the cards, printing them the cards. It's okay if you have 6 designs or, you know, whatever. Yes, like 6 designs instead of like 60 designs. It's just too much. That's gonna come later. All right, so very, very important to understand. Well, let's go back to our diagram here. We're gonna have choose your design. Next, we're gonna have a connector. Actually, let's do another thing here. We have a connector here. And what is the next thing? Well, the next thing is, if I choose my design, we have to upload. We're not gonna do Excel. We're just gonna say enter your guess. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna say enter your guess. All right. Next, it's giving us a ton of, so if I say save guest list, it confirms it. And then we say preview the card. So let's do that. Let's go back here. We're gonna have a confirmation. All right. Confirmation, where we display the data that we got, right? So if we go in here, let's do this 70 so that it's nicely visible. All right, so there we have it. Next, we're gonna have a connector, and we're gonna say, what was that last step? Yeah, preview and customize. We're not gonna do customize, we're just gonna do preview. We're gonna display them here, right? We're gonna automatically preview. That's a good idea. And we're gonna say download PDF. So this is gonna say preview and download. That's it. We have a 4th step. Now we have the flow. Very, very important. We want to have the flow. Choose your design, enter your guess, confirmation, preview, and download. All right. That's kind of what we have. Design plus guess. You have confirmation. It's you know what is a foldable card, right? This place me card. It's basically a combination of design and the data, right? That's the key. You know, if you don't have design, it's very boring. You probably don't want that. It's not gonna sell. But if you don't have the guess, the names, then it doesn't mean anything, right? It's just a template. It's just design. So that's the key. You need to combine design and the guess, and then show them the confirmation and preview and download. Super important, right? That's kind of what we have, guys, right now. That is the flow that we're gonna be using in order to build this app. Now, let's talk about actually implementing this app. What do we need to do? Well, we need to have designs. We need to have some kind of designs. Now, you may hire a designer for that, or you might hire somebody else. This has nothing to do with NoCode. This is an image, right? So if we say upload your own, it's telling us upload a valid image, JPEG, PNG, etc., etc. So once they upload an image, what we need to do is we need to superimpose, you know, we need to take that image, right? So if we come in here and we save guest list, we come in here. What we need to do essentially is we need to generate a file, an image, a PDF that looks something like this, okay? Now, you may do that using the tool that you're doing it. You may use it using the tool that you are planning to use. Or chances are you're gonna use an internal system. Maybe in Bubble, you're gonna do a plugin. Maybe with Appgyver, you're gonna use a third-party service that takes all this data and creates a PDF. Right? Chances are you're not going to be able to do it within the tool, because the tool has only kind of basic functionality. All the extra functionality, such as, you know, generating a PDF, is typically done using plugins or some extra functionality. So you guys need to check with Bubble. You need to check with something else. Maybe there's a third-party service where, you know, you just tell it, okay, I want these names. I want it to be in this format, and I want a PDF. Maybe there's already a service. There's a lot of services out there. And so that's kind of what you have to figure out. So this step, choose your design. The designs are going to be stored in Bubble, right? You're going to have an entity, right? So if you go in here, you're going to have an entity here. So if I go in entity, let's make it a little bit bigger. And you're going to have designs, right? And you're going to have maybe the name of the design if you want. So I can come in here. Right, and here you're gonna have maybe a name of the design, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here, name, let's make it a little bit smaller, name, and then design, which is gonna be a JPEG. It's gonna be an image, right? Because when we're going to be working with the confirmation, the generation here, it's going to take our images and it's going to superimpose text using some kind of a graphics library or some kind of a tool that may also need to be done externally if it's not already provided by Bubble or Appgyver or whichever tool you're using. And so we're going to have designs. This is our entities, right? This is our data model. Remember, we have a model, we have views. This is views, right? So for instance, if I come in here, this is a view, right? These are views here. Okay, this is the first view, the second view, the third view, and the fourth view. In this idea, in this example, they're all kind of the same page. Okay? Typically, you're gonna do it that way, so these are all separate pages, okay? Meaning that, you choose, it's called a wizard. This is called a wizard, right? So if I go in here and say wizard. Why is it called a wizard? Well, in computer software, in computers, Microsoft Windows or Apple or whatever you're using, anytime you have an input that spans several steps, typically that's called a wizard. And in this example, it's a wizard because it's not one big page. If it was one big page, it would have been called a form. In this case, it's a wizard. So we have choose your design, enter your guess, confirmation, preview, and download. All of this is called a wizard. These are a bunch of views. We're gonna do them, so there are 3 views here, and this is actually a download view, right? Because the confirmation, actually no, these are gonna be 4 views. These are 4 separate views. We have your designs, choose your design, enter your guess is gonna have, an input field, confirmation. We're gonna show them, right? All of this could be done in Bubble. This preview and download, I'm gonna make it a different color because typically you're gonna be able to preview it using some third-party tool that generates basically a piece a piece of data with text. And you can do that using Bubble. You can do a repeating group if you want, and that you can kind of take an image. But to take an image and to superimpose text on it probably will need to be done by a third-party library. But in order to display all that, you can do a repeating group with Bubble because you already have the data here. You can combine it together and then you can simply display that data using a repeating group in Bubble. Or in an Appgyver, there's something very, very similar. All these app tools, they have their own version of repeating groups. So you can do that very, very simple there as well. And that's kind of what we have, right? We have these 3 views. We have this view. And typically what's going to happen is once you do confirmation, you are going to use something else. You're going to have some kind of a third party. So I'm going to change the color here. All right, so I have this. I'm going to change the color. I'm just going to make it yellow just because this is an external, right? This may be an external call or library or plugin or something else in order to kind of superimpose the image, right? To display it because that's a very, very specific functionality. And Bubble or some other tool may not actually have it, right? So this is going to be something else. So we're going to make the call. We're going to get the data back. And then we're going to preview. And we're going to allow them to download this generated PDF, right? So we're going to say download PDF. That's kind of what we have. And that's kind of really how you develop this app. This is all Bubble. Blue is all Bubble. This is external. And this is going to be also Bubble, right? You can also do Bubble here, actually. Because the only external thing is really this call here. Previewing is another view. So this becomes, view 1, view 2. Let's do that. And view 3. So you can do something like this. View 2, view 3, and view 4. These are going to be 4 views. We have our model, designs, name and design. We don't really need to store anything here, right? Only the designs are really stored. We're not storing names. We're not storing user submitted data or anything like that. There's no user accounts. Nothing of that sort. We're just storing designs, which we're going to get somebody else to kind of design for us and stuff like that. And then when you have an external thing, and that's kind of the way you do it. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind is that when you are picking your design, right? So if we go in here, let's say I pick a, let's try from the beginning. If I pick a premium design, right? So I do save guest list. It does preview. And now we need to download a PDF. So it's still, at some point, it's going to ask us for money. It's going to ask us for money because we picked a premium design. So typically you want to ask for money at the end. You do not want to ask for money in the beginning. So when you're doing this, you can ask for money here, you can ask for money here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a money here, right here. You can ask for money, right? So for instance, you can have another connection, and this could be asking for money. Okay, because we're confirming. You can ask for money when they pick a design, or you can ask for money here, or you can even ask for money here in the last step, you know, when they need to download it. So when they submit the email, you can ask for money as well. So we can do something like this. Obviously, it's one or the other, either here or either here. You know, this is not a bad idea, actually, because we're asking for email here. We're asking for email. So if we go in here, and we're saying download PDF, we're asking for email. And there you can say, hey, you did not purchase this design. This is a premium design. Please purchase this premium design. And then you will be able to actually download the thing. So there could be another flow there as well. And so that is all that I wanted to show you guys in this video. I really hope you've gotten value here. Let me know in the comments below if you like these kinds of videos and you want to see more of them. There's a lot of really interesting tools, and I believe this is a really great method to help you guys hit the ground and running and start building these tools. So thanks a lot for watching. Give this video a fat like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already, and I'll see you guys later.